Hey my loves, welcome back to Lavendaire. So I have not done a book video in a while, so I thought today I would share 9 of my favorite spiritual books for your spiritual awakening. So I go through phases where I prefer like a certain type of book. So lately I've been really into reading astrology and spirituality books. Sometimes I'm in the mood to read more practical things like habit building, and then other times like I really don't want to read that stuff. So I was inspired by my recent reading to share my favorite books on spirituality for those of you who want to read more books on this topic, expand your consciousness, change your perspective on the world, all of that. The first book I recommend is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. I am a fan of Deepak Chopra. I am a fan especially of his audiobooks because for some reason I really like his voice. I like his accent. He's very soothing and I just feel calm and peaceful listening to him. Plus he just has decades of like wisdom and knowledge in the area of spirituality. So if you've never like read any of his works, I highly recommend checking that one out. It's his most popular. It is older, but it's still very, very good content. In that book, he shares universal spiritual laws that apply to our world, and it's just important to understand these laws, how they work, and use that to create the life that we want within those constructs. If you've already read that book, the book that I'm currently listening to by Deepak Chopra is called Synchrodestiny, and it's a book about synchronicities and how it is a sign of your consciousness awakening. If you've ever experienced random coincidences where you're like, wow, that is too coincidental, I recommend you read or listen to this book because it just explains synchronicities and it just reveals the magic of this universe and the energy that is always there. Another audio that I used to listen to on repeat is called Creating Affluence, and that audiobook is free on YouTube and I used to listen to it every night. It's basically lessons that you want to ingrain into your consciousness for more abundance and success in your life. By the way, these 2 books are not included in this top 9 list of spirituality books, but I just feel like they're too good not to share when talking about Deepak Chopra. So I figure some of you are interested, so I'll just link it down below as well so you can check it out. The next book you should read is The 5th Agreement by Don Miguel Ruiz. So one of my favorite books is his previous book called The 4 Agreements, but his book The 5th Agreement basically summarizes the first 4 agreements and then adds a new 5th one. And so whether or not you've read the 4 agreements, it's still like really beneficial to read the 5th agreement because 1, you get the refresher of the 4 main agreements that will literally change your life. They will change your perspective and mindset, but you also get a bonus 5th one. And Don Miguel Ruiz, he just kind of blows your mind. He changes your perspective on how you see the world. To summarize, the 5th agreement basically helps you understand that everything we know is not the real truth. Everything is just a reflection of the truth. It's a relative truth. It's a symbol. And you recognize that everyone is living in their own movie. Like my perception of the world is different from your perception versus someone else's perception. And it's learning to see the world in that way. You can't expect people to see the world as you do. And our experiences are really just in our own minds. It's just one of those mind openers, and I highly recommend reading books like that. Even though I recommend reading the 5th agreement first because it has everything, I still have to recommend the 4 agreements, the previous book, because that is just so good. It is a classic. I feel like it should be recommended reading for like everyone on the planet. The main lesson that that book taught me was to learn to not take anything personally and not to care about what other people think of me, because you recognize that people are just mirrors of themselves. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. Before I share the next book, I want to talk to you about Skillshare, which is an online learning platform that you should definitely know. So thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you're here, I'm sure you love expanding your knowledge and learning new things. So Skillshare is actually the perfect place to expand your knowledge online because it's an online learning community with thousands of classes on all these different topics, from creativity to business to lifestyle and more. It's a place where you can explore new skills and deepen your passions. A class that I think you guys would really enjoy is this one called Writing for Self-Discovery, 6 Journaling Prompts for Gratitude and Growth by Yasmin Cheyenne. This is a class that shares journaling prompts and exercises to help you understand yourself and cultivate more joy in your life, because self-awareness and understanding is the first step to navigating a successful life. Skillshare is always launching new premium classes, so you have an endless amount of options to learn from, and an annual subscription is less than $10 a month. So if you guys are interested, the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get a free trial to Skillshare Premium. Moving on, the next book to accelerate your spiritual awakening is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. This book is also one of those like deep, like, oh my gosh, I never saw the world like that. I never saw myself like that type of book. So this book will teach you how to understand that you are not your mind, you are not your ego, you are the soul, which is the quiet observer of the mind and your ego and just everything that you experience as a human being in life. It says it in the title, The Untethered Soul. Like, you are a soul that is untethered, detached from everything that you used to think was you. If you are someone that gets caught up in overthinking or caught up in your emotions, this is a book to read or listen to. I remember I listened to the audiobook of this. It is really good and it is such great content. The next book for your spiritual awakening is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I've been sharing this book for the past 5 years because it is so good. I have not found books that are better than the ones that I'm sharing on this list, even though I've read more books. I think it's always like those first books that you read that are really impactful. But this book is super popular and for good reason. It's all about living in the present moment, understanding that your power is only in the now. The only reality and the only truth is like right now. The past and the future are just figments of your imagination. They're just an illusion in your mind. So if it's not happening right now, don't even worry about it. Don't waste your energy on it. Eckhart Tolle is one of those classic, really famous spiritual writers. I saw him speak in person one time in 2016, and he is so like zen. He's a little bit monotone and boring because he's just so present. He doesn't have like emotional highs and lows. He is just living in the moment, and it's really funny, but he really is like a monk. Anyway, it's a really great book. It's a book that you can go back to and read again and again, and it will help you like release yourself from the things that hold you back, release yourselves from the pain that you feel. Anything that is not happening in the present moment, it helps you let go of it. The next book is also by Eckhart Tolle. This is another one of his very famous books. This was part of the Oprah Book Club. This is A New Earth. And this book, I remember reading it years ago, and it is so dense, but it is so good. It's basically about the ego, and it just paints all the different angles and the scenarios of your ego. And so it helps you recognize what part of you is your ego and which part of you is the true you, the soul, the consciousness. And then it kind of guides you on like, okay, these are the ego's desires. Like, don't fall into this trap, don't fall into that trap. So that is a book that will help you further detach yourself from the desires and the sufferings of life. And it's one of those like really good books that you can always go back to and reread again. It's really dense. It takes a while to like digest, but it is good stuff. The next book I want to share is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. This is also a very old book. It's one of those like classic self-help books, and it is about learning to heal from your traumas, heal from negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, just the things that hold you back, those emotions that are like kept in you, how to heal those negative energies in you. And she believes, and I believe this too, that all physical, well, most physical ailments are rooted in emotional distress or unprocessed emotions, because unprocessed emotions stay in your body in a certain energy and they become stress, they become tension. It's kind of like if you're stressed about something, your shoulders will tighten up, and over time, if every day you don't relieve that stress, your shoulder's gonna get tighter and tighter and tighter to the point where, you know, it's gonna start hurting. So that is the idea behind like emotions leading to physical ailments. Obviously not everything is coming from emotional. Like if you break a bone or if you're born with something, like that is a different story. But I find a lot of validity in this concept, and it is super helpful if you are someone who has not yet dealt with your childhood trauma or any past pains. It is a book to read if you want to work on your self-love with yourself, because only once you've processed those things can you be more free, can your spirit and soul feel nourished. The next book I want to share is Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. This is a slightly newer book, but it's also really good. I love her perspectives on this, and it's very uplifting. So first of all, light worker means a soul that came to earth to spread their light and to spread light on earth in this world that we we live in. So I don't know about you, but I relate to this term light worker because I believe when you are doing the things you're good at, doing the things you enjoy, like you are lighting up, and by lighting up you inspire other people to light up, and one at a time, eventually we create this like wave and this movement where everybody lights up, everybody is more kind and happy and loving, and ultimately our purpose is to leave the world a little bit better than we found it. So if this term light worker resonates with you, I recommend you read this book because it is very uplifting and it's very reassuring, and it reminds you like why you are here. It gives you a sense of purpose, and it's just very positive. And I actually interviewed Rebecca Campbell on my podcast a few years ago. I'll link that down below, but it was very interesting to talk to her because she was speaking on experiences she's had when she went back to like a memory before she came on earth, where she remembered her soul agreeing to come to earth to be a light worker. Whether you choose to believe it or not, some people believe that your soul came to earth for a purpose, and you came here knowing you had a purpose. You came here knowing like these are the lessons I'm gonna learn, these are gonna be my strengths, these are gonna be like my weaknesses, these are gonna be my struggles, and you're choosing to go through these struggles on earth so that you learn a lesson at the end of it. And with that spiritual perspective, it makes going through struggles a little bit easier because you recognize there's a reason for it. You're meant to struggle, you're meant to learn, you're meant to experience something. The last book I recommend on spirituality is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. So this is a book to listen to or read if you don't feel like you're supported in life. If you feel like you're struggling and if you don't understand why you're struggling, this is a book to remind you that the universe has your back. The universe is your friend. The universe wants what you want. You are conspiring with the universe to create your dream life, to create the reality that you want to live in. So it is a book with reminders, and it helps you shift your mindset in a way where you feel more supported and you feel more that everything makes sense. I understand everything has a reason. It just helps you have more faith in your life and what you're going through. So the reason I recommend this book last is because one, it's newer, and number two, it is written in a more like beginner basic sense, meaning like it's more simple. It's great if you're just getting your feet wet into spirituality, but I wouldn't say it's like one of those classics that like is so mind-changing, but it is a very good reminder. It kind of reminds me of like You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. It's like written in a new modern tone, and it just reminds you that you're a badass, that the universe supports you in everything that you do, and to just learn to trust and also to surrender. So if you're someone who has trouble like letting go and you want to control everything, you want to control the outcomes and this and that, listen to this book because you really have to understand to like let it go. So out of these spiritual books that I recommended today, let me know which one resonated with you the most. Comment down below with which one you think you will read next. And also, if you guys have other recommendations on good spiritual books to read, leave them down below because I love reading books in this category. I just think it's so fun and interesting, and I love to get new perspectives. So comment down below, share your thoughts, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.